Hello, everyone. Happy holidays and such. Um, so today we have a class. Yes, I'm dressed up for the winter. I've got my scarf on that my mother-in-law knitted for me. I've got my mittens on because it's gonna get cold out there, and of course this hat that somebody gave me quite a while ago. I don't really wear it that much, but I figured for this video it would be good. So we have a class today though, and this is not real fur, so it's fake fur, just so you know. And but we have a class today on. We did it for Thanksgiving, just kind of the different holidays that there are around the world, and for Thanksgiving and the different celebrations that people have. And it's good to be kind of culturally aware of how people celebrate, because a lot of times, people think it's just about Christmas. And Happy Holidays is actually, it kind of came from everyone saying that, hey, it's not just Christmas time, which in the U.S. it obviously is the dominant one of all the celebrations that people do, but it's not the only one, and people celebrate different things all around the world. And so it's good to know. That's why people say, hey, happy holidays, because you don't know what each person is celebrating, and it's good to celebrate any celebration. It's good to be happy that people are out there, and to know what the what the idea is behind why they celebrate what they celebrate and where they come from. Each of us kind of come from where we come from, and so it's good that because I would want people to recognize the same about me if I celebrated something different than other people. But we're not going to go over all of them, because there's all sorts of things that actually go on during the holiday seasons. And I looked up one list, and it was a really long list of just different holidays. So we're going to go over some of the more major ones, that go on, that are more celebrated around the world to larger numbers of people. But anyway, let's get started and find out what the holiday season is all about. All right, so December holidays, and these are December holidays around the world. All right, number one. Of course, it starts with Christmas. And, Christmas is a good time because no matter what, it's about giving presents and love and being warm and eating and having wassail, which is what my family always made, was wassail, which had just like cloves and some cinnamon sticks and basically apple juice that you would just warm up. But it would be nice because I grew up where there was snow, and it would just warm your belly and be a nice thing to go out, like have a glass of wassail, and then before you have to take a long walk home or something like that. But Christmas. So obviously it's one of the most widely known December holidays. Christmas traditions vary around the world. While Americans celebrate with Christmas trees, visits from Santa Claus, and dreams of snowy landscapes like lovely Salt Lake. Christmas falls during Australia's summer, where it is popular to go camping or to the beach over the holiday. Some Australians decorate a Christmas bush, a native Australian tree with small green leaves and flowers that turn red during the summer. So we know a lot of the basics about Christmas and what people celebrate during Christmas time. But again, like it says, around the world, it's not all snowy. And here in California, that was one of my first disappointments. Was that I didn't have like a white Christmas, because I really liked having a white Christmas. Just all the snow and it's not fun to drive in or anything, but all the grandeur around it was, it was definitely beautiful, and I missed it. In England, Christmas traditions are similar to those in the U.S., but instead of leaving milk and cookies for Santa Claus, children leave minced pies and brandy for Father Christmas, which is funny. Mince pie, by the way, is a meat pie. Not my favorite kind of pie. That's just me. No shot at England. My mom's from England. In Iceland, the capital city of Reykjavik, turns it into a winter wonderland with its Christmas market, and for the children, there's not one but 13 Santas, known as Yule Lads. So Y-U-L-E, lads. One arrives each night in the 13 days before Christmas, leaving small gifts and shoes left in windowsills. And yeah, so that's how things go in Iceland, which it's funny. Iceland and Greenland, I don't know if you know, but Greenland is actually the more icy one, and Iceland is actually the greener one. But so Christmas, that is the first December holiday that we know very much about. Okay. Another one that is celebrated across the world, and definitely here in the United States as well, is Hanukkah. Hanukkah, or well, it says Chanukah. I'm not sure which the correct pronunciation is. I know where to find out. But Hanukkah, or Chanukah, is an 8-day Jewish celebration that commemorates the rededication of the Second Temple in Jerusalem. Following the Maccabean revolt, those who took part in the the rededication. My apologies. Oh, I didn't. This is tougher with gloves. Maybe I'll just take the whole thing and take a couple of pages. Okay. But look, snowy bears, snowy plovers. Christmas time. Or it's holiday time. But those who took part in the rededication witnessed what they believed to be a miracle. Even though there was only enough untainted oil, to keep the menorah's candles burning for a single day, the flames continued to burn for 8 nights. And from what I know, it was a long trek that people took. And to think that we're like, well, we only have enough for one night, and we don't even know if we're going to make our destination, because you needed light back then. It's, it's either follow the stars and everything as you're trekking by night, or what do you do? And then for them to burn for that long is actually quite impressive. And a miracle in many ways. And Christmas is a lot about miracles for a lot of people. Also known as the Festival of Lights, Hanukkah begins on the 25th of Kislev on the Hebrew calendar. Celebrations revolve around lighting the menorah. On each the holiday's 8 nights, another candle is added to the menorah after sundown. The 9th candle, called the shamash, or helper, is used to light the others. So each time you light the other ones. Typically, blessings are recited in traditional Hanukkah foods such as potato pancakes, latkes, and jam-filled donuts. I don't think I should try to pronounce this, so I'm not going to. But I will show you. So if you want to pause it, but it's right there. I don't know if my screen's actually showing this very well. I can send it to you if you would like the spelling of it. Maybe we can look up the pronunciation together, but I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, so I don't want to try. Are fried in oil. Jam-filled donuts. That sounds fantastic. And latkes. If you've had a really good latke, very good. Other Hanukkah customs include plating with dreidels and exchanging gifts. And you can always learn more about Hanukkah. There's a lot more that is actually involved in the tradition there. And find out, more about a culture that exists all over the world. And all over in the U.S. as well. Another one that's more typical for the U.S., but also, I think, in parts of Africa, is Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa was created by Dr. Maulana Karenga, or Dr. Karenga is how I know it, in 1966 after the Watts riots in Los Angeles. He founded a cultural organization and started to research African celebrations, or first fruit or harvest celebrations. Because the first fruits would come during this time, and so it's a time for celebration of the first fruits in places like Africa. From there, he combined aspects of several different harvest celebrations to form the basics of Kwanzaa. The name Kwanzaa comes from the phrase Matunda ya Kwanza, which means first fruits in Swahili. Each family celebrates Kwanzaa in its own ways, but celebrations often include songs and dances, African drums, storytelling, poetry reading, and a large traditional meal. On each of the 7 nights, families gather and a child lights one of the candles on the Kinara, the one of the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Which is values of African culture, is discussed. An African feast called the Karamu is held on December 31st, and you can always learn more about even Kwanzaa. I think it's probably one of the lesser known ones. When I was working at the Boys and Girls Club, we did because we had 3 different classes. We had 1st and 2nd grade, 3rd and 4th grade, and then a combination 4th and 5th grade. And each of us chose a different celebration that is celebrated here in the U.S. And one class had Christmas, obviously. Another class had Hanukkah, obviously. But in Paradise, where I was working, a lot of people didn't know about Kwanzaa, and so we took Kwanzaa. And there's a lot more to know about it, how the actual tradition goes, and to see it celebrated. I'm sure you can find something on YouTube or something like that to where you can actually see how Kwanzaa is celebrated, in the way that it was founded and organized. But it's a really interesting and wonderful celebration. All right. Let's go with our next one. Well, I'll just leave you with the pictures of the beautiful bears and the birds there. They look so happy. The next one is Boxing Day. And Boxing Day takes place on December 26th. So the day after Christmas is Boxing Day. Only celebrated in a few countries. The holiday originated in the UK or United Kingdom during the Middle Ages. It was when the alms box, collection boxes for the poor often kept in churches, were opened and their content distributed, a tradition that still happens in some areas. It was also the day servants were traditionally giving the day off to celebrate Christmas with their families. Honestly, this is one of the newer ones to me. I didn't know that about the alms boxes. That's really an interesting part of history to know that people that were waiting a long time and really look forward to that day, and then the box was opened, and then people were distributed money, and then they could really have a celebration and feel comfortable and feel happy the way that everyone deserves to feel. Boxing Day has now become a public holiday in the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, among other countries, which most of them are associated with the United Kingdom, especially Australia and Canada. Well, the Queen is on the money, so. I don't know much about New Zealand, honestly. I just know it's beautiful, and that's where Lord of the Rings was shot, but it sounds like a wonderful holiday. And then it says my apologies. In England, soccer matches and horse races often take place on Boxing Day. The Irish refer to the holiday as St. Stephen's Day, and they have their own tradition called hunting the wren. Now, wren is a type of bird. in which boys fasten a fake wren to a pole and parade it through town. Which I hope that the original one wasn't a real hen or wren. Sorry. The Bahamas celebrate Boxing Days with a street parade and festival called a Junkanoo. Is what I'm guessing. Maybe I shouldn't pronounce that either. But you can definitely learn more about Boxing Day as well. But it's a really interesting holiday, and it goes on throughout the world, and it's good to know that what the beginnings of it are and why it's important. Because in order for people to really have food and do everything like I said before, what they need to get done and feel happy and full, that this is something that people celebrate, and stems from the Middle Ages, which there were some dark times then. Okay, and then the last one is Omisoka. Omisoka. New Year's Eve is considered the second most important day in Japanese tradition, as it is the final day of the old year and the eve of the New Year's Day, the most important day of the year. So again, this is December holidays. Families gather on Omisoka for one last time in the old year to have a bowl of I'll give it a try, I guess. Toshikoshi soba or toshikoshi udon. Let's see, the udon is a noodle. A tradition based on eating the long noodles to cross over from one year to the next. At midnight, many visit shrines or temples for Hatsumori. Shinto shrines prepare amazaki to pass out to crowds, and most Buddhist temples have large cast bells that are struck once for each of the 108 earthly desires believed to cause human suffering. And so, you can also really learn more about Buddhism and what are the 108, but and why that's important, but why people celebrate a day in order to recognize that this is something we need to stay focused on. Just like Christmas kind of has the same thing where it's like we need to stay focused on loving each other and making sure that each person has everything that they need. What other holidays do you celebrate in December? That is a good question for you. Is there another holiday that you all celebrate that maybe I missed on this list? Like I said, I looked up another one. There's a bunch, but I don't know, if there's anything that you celebrate that maybe other people don't. I know there's a Seinfeld episode where they celebrate, I forget the name of it, but it's their own holiday, and it was created by their father, and that's how traditions get created. It gets created by one person, and then, not one person, or a group of people, and then it kind of moves on from there. But anyway, I wish for you all the best of the holiday season, the safest of the holiday season. And I wish to all of you what the holidays are really about, which is enjoyment and peace and love. And, and even if you're home with your family and those that you live with, which I hope that we all are, then I hope for you all the best and all the goodness in the world. Anyway, I miss you all. We will definitely be coming back or revisiting when we're going to come back in January. And I look forward to just the beginnings of getting back to where we were. And that is my hope for the new year. That is, I can't make it a resolution because, it's not up to me. But anyway, I miss you all. And I will talk to you all like I do. All right. Bye.